No speak, y'all. What's going on, everyone? I appreciate you all being here and waiting so patiently. I told you when I can do our casual lives. Yes, this is a casual alive. We can get together. As you saw, tech stuff happens. We were live earlier for our Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap. So things happen, but we make do, right? What's going on, everyone? Let me know where you are watching from. We have a few things that I want to talk about. A few things. We have to talk about the Jess hilarious of it all. We have to talk about the Wendy Williams update. We have to talk about Jonathan Majors and Meagan Good of it all. Hey, Paula, thank you so much. Philadelphia's in the house. South Carolina. Thank you, Takivia. Chicago, what's going on? North Carolina, South Carolina, Freeport, New York, what's going on? New Orleans, I want to go to New Orleans. Netherlands, what's going on? I've been to the Netherlands multiple times. Yes, Nicole, they are married now. Jonathan Majors. We're going to talk about the Jonathan Majors of it all because some people don't like my opinion on it. But one thing you guys are going to know about me, I don't care if you disagree with me, but you're not going to bully me into believing what you believe. I am a Taurus. I am the bull. Okay. Hey, Shadrika. Wagwan. San Bernardino. Hey, Nita. I always see Nita's beauty. Nita always lifts me up in the comment section. Thank you, Nita. Hey, Winter. Winter called in during our recap. Hey, Amina. Johannesburg, South Africa. I want to go to South Africa too. Um, okay, what's going on? North Babylon, New York. What's going on? Hey, Miss Esquire. All right. Where do I want to begin? Let's start off with the Jonathan Majors story. First of all, that was a news story that broke last night in regards to Jonathan Majors and Meagan Good have officially gotten married. We found out about their engagement back in November. If you went to my not New York City, my LA show, we talked about that announcement, and I was just like, because I've never believed that this was a real relationship. And if this was a real relationship, that says to me that Meagan Good was the other woman when he was still with Jack. Uh, oh my goodness, her last name is Jabari. Well, I can't think of her first name. Um, Grace Jabari. There we go. Elephant brain's working today. Um, so that says to me there was some sort of overlap in either relationship. Either Grace was the side piece, but they'd been together for a long time. She was on red carpets with him before, or something. I don't know. But I think it's important for us to understand the timeline. No matter how we feel about Grace Jabari, I think a lot of people, because he was with a white woman, everyone's like, believe in black love. You're falling for the okie doke. Okay? Angelique says condolences to the happy couple. Oh my gosh. What a way to say that. So there's something very off about this relationship. Even when shout out to our friends at Fashion Bomb Daily, when they had said to Claire, we're engaged. It was such an awkward way that they announced it. This feels like a relationship to fix his image because, as you know, after he was arrested, he lost a lot. He lost his management. He lost Marvel. He lost his publicity company. A lot of people turned on him even before there was any decision. And I understand, no, they shouldn't have done that. They should have waited this out. And no one's going to take away that Jonathan Majors is a phenomenal actor. However, especially as a community, what I've seen, especially with Kanye West of it all, I've put Kanye West, if you follow the channel, every once in a while, I'll talk about Kanye. But honestly, especially after he's crashed out on social media, included his minor daughter on a song with Diddy, has been saying all kinds of horrific, disgusting things on X. Kanye West, he won't, this will probably be the last time that we ever talk about Kanye West. Disgusting. So I say all that to say, if this felt like the situation with Meagan Good and Jonathan Majors, it felt like it was a publicity stunt, and it continues to feel like a publicity stunt, because this news of them getting married and him confirming on the Sherry Shepherd show and everything they've done has felt like a publicity stunt. And it continues to, because this news of them getting married comes out after the audio where he admits to strangling Grace Jabari literally came out the day before. And now all of a sudden, oh, they've gotten married. So now the whole situation, we're not talking about the audio where he is admitting to strangling her. No one's talking about that, but we are. But we are. And the reason why I brought up Kanye, Elephant Brain's Working, bring it all the way back around, is that so many people in our community and just in pop culture in general make excuses. Oh, but he's a genius. Oh, he's a phenomenal actor. You could be a phenomenal genius, actor, talented, but also a terrible human being. And the fact that the woman that accused him is white shouldn't make a difference. It's still a woman that he's admitting that he harmed. So what makes us think that he wouldn't do that to Meagan Good? But again, I don't believe that this is an actual relationship, a real relationship. So I'm going to play the audio for you guys. So just a trigger warning for those that might be affected by something like this. Just a trigger warning that we're going to play this audio where he admits to harming his then girlfriend, Grace Jabari. I don't know when the relationship with Meagan Good happened, but you just got arrested. Now all of a sudden you're in a relationship with Meagan Good. Just got arrested. All of a sudden you're in a relationship with Meagan Good. A couple of weeks later. Does that make sense to people? That doesn't make sense. And it also, even if it is true, if it's a real relationship, it doesn't make sense. A woman would get into a relationship when a man is being accused of harming another woman. If we're talking about red flags, a lot of times we don't know these things when we get into relationships. If we're talking about red flags, the red flag is hitting you in the face. I'm like, let's wait to see the determination of this. I'm going to keep my distance. You're also a public person, Meagan Good. So this is also not a good look for you. So the fact that you are willing to go public with this relationship so quickly and easily says to me it is a stunt. And I'm gonna die on that hill. All right. Okay, so let me just play this audio. This is from Rolling Stone.
I'm ashamed. I've never wrestled with a woman before. Yeah, it's just I've never I regret. Like you strangled me and pushed me against the car. Yeah, all those things are under regrets. Yeah. Yeah. You know, like that's never happened to me. So I'm
because I said something sarcastically, if in your eyes.
Clearly it's more than that.
Yeah. Clearly that something inside of you.
Yeah.
So I have the transcript because it's hard to hear the audio, even if you were here with me. So Rolling Stone had this as their source. Johnathan Majors has admitted to strangling his ex-girlfriend in a newly unearthed audio. Major says, I aggressed you. Major's ex says, you strangled me and pushed me against the car. Major says, yes, all those things are under aggressed. Yeah. So he admits this. And I'm telling you, when I saw the different blogs talking about this, people, because she's a white woman, feel as if, oh, you know, they're trying to take down this black man. You hear the audio of this man admitting to putting hands on a woman, no matter how you feel about said woman and her skin color. She is a woman. So if he did this to her, what makes us think that he hasn't done it in the past, which there are many articles about him allegedly being aggressive in the past, and what makes us say he won't do it in the future? What has he done to make a change in regards to that? Ms. Esquire says, I didn't remember that he denied choking her, but his defense was that she was violent with him, that the interrelationship violence was common for them. Was this audio available in the criminal case? I don't have the criminal case in front of me, so I don't recall if this was in the criminal case. However, it is pretty damning. And the other thing I think people have to also understand, and we talked about this with Married to Medicine with Quad and Gregory, Dr. Gregory, in these abusive relationships, it's not uncommon for the woman trying to defend herself being physically aggressive back to a man that in most cases has more strength than a woman. So, and again, if you look at the expose that Rolling Stone did, they also talked about, they did a whole expose talking about his history from other allegations stemming back to his days in college. Miranda says they want a perfect victim, and there is no perfect victim. And I'm not saying that Grace Jabari is 100% innocent, because literally she's recording him. Why is she recording him? Was she setting him up? Mind you, they were in a long-term relationship. They were in a relationship longer than he was with Meagan Good, and he didn't marry her. But there are other accusations, and I believe there's also another police report in London. Kira says, I was side-eyeing Meagan Good before, but for this audio to come out and then announce a marriage, and again, this is why I say the timeliness of this is not lost on me. Okay? So in regards to the original audio that was obtained by Rolling Stone, they said Johnathan Majors admitted to strangling an ex-girlfriend in previously unreleased audio recording obtained by Rolling Stone. The conversation was captured in the aftermath of a days-long fight between Majors and his then girlfriend, professional dancer Grace Jabari, in September of 2022. The Marvel actor had been living with Jabari in London. Also, this is probably from the London police report, as he filmed the second season of the Disney Plus series, Loki, when he allegedly became angry at Jabari. According to a since settled civil lawsuit filed by Jabari last April, she alleged Major slammed her into a car, dragged her back inside their home, and strangled her. The unearthed audio tape captures Jabari confronting Majors about the alleged attack in the following days. The fact that she recorded this says to me that this happened before and she was building her case. We've seen this with other abused women where the abuse happens and they start documenting it. So this is what this sounds like, because there are a lot of people that say, why did she, why was she recording him? Because she was this was probably not the first time. Tish, thank you so much for Super Chat. Michael B. Jordan also disappointed me. Why are so many people willing to jeopardize their reputation for Johnathan Majors? Because he makes them money. It comes down to that. He makes them money. He says, I'm ashamed Majors begins before cutting himself off. I've never been aggressive with a woman before. I've never aggressed a woman. I aggressed you. She says, you strangled me and pushed me against the car, Jabari interjects. Yes, all those things are under aggressed. Yeah, Major responds. That's never happened to me. Because I said something sarcastically in your eyes, Jabari says. Well, clearly it's more than that, Major says. Jabari says, something inside of you? He says, yeah, towards you, before the recording ends. Both an attorney and agent for Majors did not immediately respond to requests for comment. An attorney for Jabari declined to comment. One thing we have to keep in mind, when Rolling Stone comes out with audio like this, they reach out to the person or persons involved. So the fact that we get news shortly after this comes out and is brought to light that Meagan and Johnathan Majors got married, the timeliness of that should be noted. Okay. All right. Moving on from there, the news came out last night that they had gotten married. He then went on the Sherri Shepherd show and expressed his joy. Let me just play the audio for you. Hold on.
A merry man.
And you see his wedding band.
What happened here? You got to tell me about this day.
He does this. He does this.
I said to man.
Again, you can watch this on the Neighborhood Talk, or you can watch this on Sherri Shepherd's YouTube channel in regards to when he talks about Meagan. We have to remember, we are watching an actor, someone who is an Ivy League, well-trained actor. People make excuses. He's a phenomenal actor, though. So it's not lost on me that this performance was lackluster.
And yesterday, I said, today might be the happiest day of my life. Yeah,
There's something so insincere about the way both Meagan and Johnathan Majors look at people when they're talking about the relationship. They're like, Mm. Like, believe me. It's so interesting to me. You can play this again.
Mary May. What had happened here? You got to tell me about this day.
This is it. I'm gonna reenact.
I said to Meagan yesterday, I said, today might be the happiest day of my life. Yeah,
He's about to tear up, y'all. He's about to tear up. But I'm telling you, exactly. End scene. That's the vibe. I am very intuitive. I've really embraced that. When my intuitive nature kicks in, I need to believe it. This is probably the worst acting he's ever done. He should be ashamed. His acting coach should be like, and I bet you, people that have worked with him, his acting teachers, probably can tell. The acting teachers will be able to tell you what is real and what is not real.
I love that woman so much.
He's trying to get the tears out, y'all. Oh, damn. And some people are really good at crying on demand. And if you're an actor, you probably could do better than most. He's just like, it's just get the tears out. It leans towards like, and we're body language experts. Not really, but we say that we are. The body language is telling me no.
So how did it happen? Well, I asked the father first, right?
And mind you, these folks go on certain shows because they know they're not going to be asked the hard-hitting questions. Okay? Just saying, if this was Wendy Williams, it'd be something else. They wouldn't go. They wouldn't go on Wendy.
What had happened here? You got to tell me about this day.
Look.
I said to Meagan yesterday, I said, today might be the happiest day of my life. Yeah.
As he touches the ring, body language.
I love that woman so much.
I love that. He looks up when I love that woman so much. He looks up.
So how did it happen? Well, I asked the father first, right, in Paris, if that was all right. He said, that's cool. My mother pastor, and she came to the premiere, the LA screening.
Yeah.
We had told her that, hey, we're gonna do this thing, and we did. My mother married us yesterday. Her mother was there.
His mother married them yesterday. So this was probably very last minute. The audio came out. It's giving that sign. It's giving that sign. I love black love too, but this ain't it. If black love is this, run. If this is the black love, run. This ain't black love. This is produced love. So his mother married them. There was no big hoop-de-doo. Exactly. Miss Esquire says giving PR rollout. I can't.
Yeah. Her mother was there, and we had these rings, and we got them engraved in Hawaii. But after I spoke with her father again. Yeah. And we finally got to do it, but it was always a plan, So.
Wow. Oh, look! It was always a plan. He's emphasizing that this is not a response to the PR of it all. It's not response to what happened yesterday. It was planned. Fiddling with the ring. Body language experts tell me that it's a lie.
Yeah.
So Meagan was actually in the building, apparently, because there's a picture of Meagan and Sherry and all of them. I can't wait to get my daytime talk show. So that was Johnathan Majors and Meagan Good are married. So to distract from the audio that came out from Rolling Stone yesterday that he admits to strangling his then girlfriend, Grace Jabari. Here we go. And there'll be one commenter. You always talking about bringing down the black community. This is why we can't do better. We can't do better is because you continue to make excuses for the abuses of people within our own community. Stop that, and maybe we as a people, we can elevate. All right, moving on. Let's talk. I need to probably get my charger for this this computer. All right. Let's talk about Wendy Williams. And is Mama Ellie in the chat? Mama Ellie or someone, can we do the timestamps? Because I know after this, people are going to want the timestamps. Okay. All right. Let's talk about Wendy Williams. So Wendy Williams had a little bit of a legal win. We've covered Wendy Williams endlessly. We were just talking about Wendy. We know Wendy would not be falling for the BS when it comes to this Johnathan and Meagan situation. She would probably have her sources out there. Thank you, Mama Ali. So she had a little bit of a legal win. As you know, she's been fighting publicly about this guardianship, but more specifically, the luxury prison that she's living in. So our friends over at the U.S. Sun report that Wendy Williams' first step to freedom has been granted as the star battles her guardianship in court after being locked up at a New York City senior living facility. In exclusive photos and videos obtained by the U.S. Sun, Wendy beamed on her way out of court on Monday after she faced the judge who holds the keys to her freedom from the restrictive guardianship she is under, Sabrina Morrissey. Okay? They write this. They said, after the hearing, Wendy stopped and chatted with a photographer who asked her if court went her way. She responded, "It did." Then when asked if the emergency petitions went in her favor, she responded, "They did. Thank you." The U.S. Sun can exclusively reveal that Judge Lisa Sokoloff agreed to allow the former queen of daytime TV to move from the secured memory unit that Wendy has called a luxury prison. She lived there for the past half year to an unsecured floor in the independent living section at the facility. You remember when it came out that she was living in this luxury prison, they said that she was in another unit at this facility, and they had ended up finding her drunk at I guess they have a restaurant at the top of this facility. It's like a very high-end facility. She's paying between the likes of like $20,000 to $50,000 a month. Okay. But now that she's moving out of the memory unit, I wonder if the price tag will go down, because the memory unit costs them additional amount of money. But there's been a lot of public pressure that Wendy's in a very restrictive conservatorship, that her friends and family can't visit her. The facility apparently called the police on her niece for taking her to dinner. But in a interview with TMZ, they said Wendy can come and go as she pleases. Miss Esquire, our legal eagle, unofficially, says that's a big move to step her down from a locked unit. I'm happy for her. It should. Yeah, I think the problem is not that we don't think that Wendy needs some support. Clearly she does. But does she need to be locked up the way that she's being locked up? No. So the U.S. Sun previously reported, that Wendy's attorney, Sadatu Salami, filed an emergency petition last week to have the star move from her restrictive living arrangement, an issue which seems to have been at least temporarily resolved in court on Monday. She will be in like a private condo now. She will have much more freedom to come and go as she pleases. She'll be able to have visitors, and she'll be free to leave when she wants, the insider said. Wendy, who has never been photographed at the guardianship court before, was there for a number of other important reasons as well. Her team will also begin settlement talks for the guardianship, the insider said. Ultimately, Wendy wants completely out of the arrangement, but there are some tests that she'll have to face moving forward to see just how much freedom she will be given, and if that means that she's entirely free from the guardianship, or if she will be granted less oversight in the future with some other legal arrangement. So she might not be out of the guardianship completely, and again, we don't know. We don't have access to Wendy's medical records, and we shouldn't. So we don't know if she needs the support. But again, does it need to be this restrictive? Ms. Esquire says memory units are similar to lockdown behavioral units. Constant checks, restricted movements, can't leave little time outdoors, few items for fear of self-harm. And it doesn't seem that that's the appropriate facility for Wendy. Again, we don't have access to her full medical workup. We don't know what will be good. This is why it's in the court's hands, but people are questioning the court because they put her in this restrictive situation. However, this is good news. So they said, but But all that will be determined in the coming weeks. The source said that basically the judge took the issue with the cognitive test she took last week at Mount Sinai. The judge said that that doesn't prove incapacitation. It just proves that she is coherent, cognitive, and alert. So that's important to note because remember that was a big deal that everyone was reporting on last week. So Wendy will be doing another full cognitive workup to determine her cognitive ability and get a neurological exam for her frontotemporal dementia diagnosis. So those tests will be the real update and important. An insider added that the judge on Monday was open to hearing Wendy's wishes, and her team is now working towards a settlement. They are seeking to have a trial for Wendy in her quest to be released from the guardianship, while her legal team is also trying their best to save her from the extraneous legal fees too. Because that's the other thing. Like, she's suing Lifetime and A&E, not something that she wants, but this is what the guardianship did. While inside the court, Wendy's niece, Alex Finney, joined for the first half of the guardianship hearing. As the U.S. Sun had previously reported, Alex has become involved in the fight to free her aunt from the guardianship. Wendy has railed against her guardianship and the restrictive unit. She has been held for the past several months, the U.S. Sun previously reported. She has also hit out at the team of the attorneys on her payroll, who she said neither she hired or nor wanted. The iconic television host has raised significant concerns about the memory care unit where she currently resides, describing it as a secured floor she's not allowed to leave. According to U.S. Sun, an investigation by the Adult Protective Services were initiated 2 weeks ago concerning Wendy's situation, ultimately leading to her hospitalization on Monday, March 10th. Wendy's guardian did not immediately respond to the U.S. Sun's request for comment. And they go on to talk about other things that we've recovered in regards to this. We're going to continue to follow this story. Again, if you're not following us and you're not subscribed, please be sure to subscribe. I think I want to move on. For those that are just joining us, this is our Hot Topics lunch hour. So be sure to let us know what you're having for lunch as well. And don't forget, if you're loving my skincare today, it's brought to you by our friends over at Butter. Butter is my full morning skincare routine. The face wash, the vitamin C, their drying towels I use. I also use their moisturizer, which I love. It's not too perfume. It's not very perfumey at all, but there is a slight scent. More information on that is available in the description, along with our new Club Kempire Apple Podcast subscription, where I'm talking about the White Lotus. I'm dropping tea on Beverly Hills. I talked about the traders, and I'm going to drop the audio for the Kempire After Dark live show there as well. So become a member today, all right? If you go to Apple Podcasts or their website, you'll be able to join, all right? A link is available in the description. All right, I will be taking questions at the end, so save your questions until the end when we do a Q&A. Let's talk about this situation with Jess Hilarious. I would play for you the full audio of her live. However, there's a lot of cussing, okay? So I don't want to do that, all right? All right, so I do want to talk about this because I saw this happen last night, but this morning, the Breakfast Club actually addressed it. So we're going to just take it from that point because they do rehash some of the things that she said in the video. So Jess, a lot of people said this. I said this as well when we were talking about Wendy Williams and Wendy last called into the Breakfast Club. I said, I was looking at the video version of the phone call and I was like, is that Jess on Instagram? Just sort of like swiping through Instagram during this interview. So I'm not surprised that Jess Hilarious ends up going on social media and crashing out over her treatment at the Breakfast Club. And, you know, the HR in me was sort of like, she's describing a very toxic work environment. So I'm not surprised that they took the time today to talk about this and address it. Okay, so I'm gonna play the audio for you. I'm just going to remind you. Let me read the what I need to read to you guys in regards to providing the fact that this falls under copyright fair use. Let me just read that to you really quickly. And while I do that, be sure to like the video if you haven't liked it already. Thank you in advance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, just a reminder that what we're about to play, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, which is also available in the description. Allowance is made for, quote, fair use for purposes such as criticism. We're breaking down this interview, commenting on this interview, news reporting, because we are journalists, all right? Teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Okay, you can see the full interview and more interviews on the Breakfast Club's YouTube channel and now available on Tubi. Okay, all right. Yes, it's now available on Tubi for free. Okay, all right. Let me play this for you guys. So this is Jess Hilarious addressing her Instagram live that she did last night, where she talked about some of the things that people have been commenting on social media, saying that Lorenzo is basically better than her, and should replace Jess on the show. Okay, so I'm thinking that something happened during the episode. LaRosa, thank you, Lauren LaRosa. So I've seen the comments where people said Lauren's so much better. She's so good at this. She's just so polished. Blah 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 blah. And yes, she is. I didn't know that she was a producer behind the scenes. And she sort of came in to fill in while Jess was on maternity leave. Okay? All right. So let me just play for you the conversation that they had this morning. They basically had an HR meeting. We're the HR professionals. And I'm sure if you've ever been in a team meeting where HR is involved, we're sitting here. I remember those meetings. I never was ever the target of a situation or conflict in the office, but I've always saw the drama that would play out in the office, and you're just sort of in the meeting like, this is awkward. So we're literally seeing this and hearing this on national radio. Yes, Lauren was on TMZ. She's and you could tell, because we're going to play the audio of the conversation that she had with her as well. So let me just play this for you guys, because my battery's dying on this computer.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
What's happening? How's everybody feeling out there?
I'm great. How you feel?
I feel blessed, black, and highly favored. Jess Hilarious is here.
I'm cool.
Okay.
Jess
Still
has
my
been,
job. I came into work. What's up?
she's been trending all day.
Yes.
I think she's number 9 right now.
Okay. Because I was sitting at home last night trying to watch Magazine Dreams, and I kept getting a bunch of phone calls and text messages, and people was like, Jess Hilarious is going off on live.
Oh, we have audio.
Okay.
We supposed to be a team up there. Not one person comes to my defense at all. Like when I'm like not one month ever with this online. Come on, I've been quiet a lot. If Jess Hilarious is quiet, it's some other reason. I always got my mouth open all the time. It's ran like a high school. It is. Fair East Side High.
I agree with that.
Fair East Side High.
Fair point.
For Mr. Clark, though. Every day, they always talk about, you ain't at work. Yeah, I started picking up more shows. Hell no. That's how I'm getting. Hell no. I have more fun outside the studio than I have in there now. Is you crazy?
So she literally was having issues in the workplace, but instead of, I guess, holding a meeting or having a conversation, she does it that they've had conversations. She's decided to just not show up anymore.
No, act like that. No, act like that's not for real. Act like nobody knew that. Stop acting like y'all, like,
What
we
part?
really...
What you mean we don't have your
I
back?
have more-
Break that down. Explain how we don't have your back.
Okay, all right. So the narrative, like I said, with the online-ish, that's what I said. Y'all ain't nobody trying to clear up no narrative about nothing. Ever since I came back, it was weird. Yes, it was weird. Yeah, I at first, no, I did not. I wasn't too fond of Lauren. No, I wasn't too fond of her when I came back, because we had a whole plan, even how when I came back, how I pick her to fill in for me, right? I come back, she ain't never leave. Then, all right, cool that she don't leave, but she's on only during my segment. If she was meant to be a fourth host, move her in another way. Why she got to be moved in on? Because nobody had a problem with Jess with the mess until she started reading right. You know what I mean?
Not reading right. Not reading right.
I wasn't hired as a reporter. I was hired as Jess with the mess. So she started reading and delivering details and all that stuff.
Yes.
Then that's when Jess with the mess wasn't good enough no more. That's how it was presented. So I'm like, all right, cool.
Who said that though? Because the internet said
What
that?
are we talking about? No. This is our listeners. This is yeah. Why can't we worry about the comments? And these are people that enjoy the show and watch the show. It's not all about Instagram. It's YouTube. It's like we have people that have been watching the show. Yeah, she's great at what she did. That's why I picked her to fill in for me. But when I came back, it's like, what's going on? If she's gonna be a fourth voice, why she only gotta be a fourth voice?
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, that is pretty concerning. If yes, you applied for a job, and again, you're not a manager, you're not an executive producer, you don't have any control over that. But why wasn't there a clear conversation with Jess in regards to we're going to include Lauren in the show for this and this reason? Because I could understand starting to feel insecure. I'm back, and my substitute is still here. And some people said even before Jess went on maternity leave, she's never prepared. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's looking down at the paper. People have not liked what she's brought. But again, they hired her. They signed a contract with her. They should be transparent in having a conversation with her if they're trying to take the show in a different direction. Gorel says, I feel like Jess isn't speaking in a professional tone, but she's absolutely correct. This is an issue with production. But I also think Jess I don't know Jess's history in regards to other jobs she's had. We know her from the internet and being a comedian and then getting this job. And again, she's from Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore. And they do have a certain energy. I've learned because, we've been to the DMV and everyone from Baltimore came over to the DMV show. So there is a different energy and a different way that they express themselves. So you can see the difference between how Lauren conducts herself versus how Jess conducts herself and how their backgrounds are very different.
She wasn't a fourth voice. She was a producer. She was hired as a news producer to help with getting all news and doing interviews.
She was going to be the senior news producer.
She wasn't on air. When you came back, Lauren was not on air. She was in the back doing questions, sending interview questions, reporting the news. Am I lying?
I thought
She was on air. She was on air.
They told her don't step in this room.
Yes, but I thought you was using her on purpose.
What? You thought I was using Lauren on purpose?
Yes.
No, what are we talking about? No. She didn't leave when I came back. The first day we had a whole situation. Like, all right, look, this was gonna happen. And when it's time for us to roll, it changed. No, the first question was about, the only person who asked me about my baby maternity leave was Envy. All right, I walked in, she addressed the hate in the comments. That was the first thing she addressed. When I came back, I'm like, what the hell would make her think I want to talk about that?
Y'all talk off air though, right?
So yeah. We started talking off air. We started to
But I'm
talk
saying even
off air.
prior to you even coming back.
So then I felt uncomfortable that first day. So I'm like, all right, look. Thea was like, all right, we'll just take her off air. She was back the next week. All right, cool. Because there was a voice. Y'all wanted her on air. There was a voice.
Pay attention to that. So she complained. I guess she was uncomfortable. And they agreed with her and they took her off the air, Lauren. And then they brought her back. Sounds like there's a lot of miscommunication from the parts of management.
They wanted her there. They wanted her here. There's a place for Lauren in the show. All right, cool.
But
if
you,
there's a
but
place
you,
for her on the show,
you wanted her
let's
here
do
too,
it another way. Yeah.
Because you said you wanted to change the segment from Jess with the Mess to the Lauren.
That was eventually. Okay. Even when it came down to it still being called Jess with the Mess, and then I'm introducing her to introduce stories. That was pointless and it was stupid. It's no Jess with the Mess. Just make it Brown Girl Grinding or.
My thing is with this, when I heard her talk about this on IG last night, I was like, Jess, you should have. But again, this is probably her experience of not really working in corporate America or working in these spaces. Girl, don't take your name off of that. That's your segment. Even if that homegirl is coming in and bulldozing it, don't take that. It's your segment.
Or Lauren with the latest, or Lauren's legal corner. I'm giving ideas. I'm like, yo, I even went to Taylor, yo, change that. Take that Just with the Mess off of there. I feel like I'm getting credit for something I'm not doing, and it's stupid because this is not, what she does is not Just with the Mess. I read headlines and I give commentary. I say what people thinking.
I agree. Could I ask
You
a
know what I'm
question?
saying? Yes, she's more of a reporter. She's
Can I ask
journalism.
a question?
What?
Why didn't you wear the do-rag this morning?
Because
Why you joke so much, man?
What you mean? I don't
It's not a
joke.
joke,
it's not a
bro.
do-rag,
It's
it's a
not a
silk
joke,
scarf,
man.
nigga.
Mind you, Charlemagne is someone that talks about mental health, and I get it. This is his role on the show, but there is a time and place. We're really talking about something very serious. Yes, you guys decided to address this on the radio, but this could have been a really serious problem. I talked about this on X earlier that I know iHeartRadio's HR department was probably, I know the directors were on the phone last night with this situation. I do not miss it.
But it's not. It's
not-
not
it's
a
not a
joke.
joke,
I'm
man.
If you
serious.
gonna bring it to the radio, I want
It's
to laugh.
not a joke, but
Okay,
Nah, but
it's not a joke.
It's a serious issue about
It
it.
is a serious issue.
okay, let me just
Now-
sit back and watch it because I'm not Joe Clark.
Because it's not.
I am actually. You're my baseball guy.
No, it's now, Envy, that's what I'm saying. No, nobody has even tried to clean up the narrative that I'm a villain. Man,
You not a villain.
this
Who said you
girl
a
is-
villain?
What, yo, stop acting like you don't live in them comments too, Charlotte. Stop acting like you don't understand.
What do I always tell you? I say stop listening to the internet. Stop listening to the comments. Stop listening to the folks on YouTube. Don't let them trick you out your position. What you did last night is what they want you to do, and you can't let the internet win.
No, but look, it's not even about what they want me to do. I did last night what I wanted to do, what I felt like I should have been did. I've been asking questions.
The internet loves mess.
Ben-
And one of the easiest ways to create mess is to pit people against each other, especially two women. And I don't do it.
Especially two black
And
women.
y'all know that.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing.
Hold on, y'all, I'm gonna grab my
The
charger.
internet Dictate what's going on. We've had conversations, and this is the thing. This is why I thought it was corny, and it's just me personally. I thought it was corny because we have conversations up here. We just have a meeting. If you had an issue, a problem, a situation, or something that you felt, why you ain't bring it to the team? When you came back, Jess, I pulled you to the side. I said, Jess, if you feel uncomfortable, if you don't want Lauren in the room, this is your show. We can make that change whenever you want. Did I not say that to you?
Yeah, you did. It's not.
I have to say, DJ Envy is so emotional. What is DJ Envy's sign? Can someone tell me DJ Envy's sign? Because he gets so heated with Jess. I'm like, oh, he's a Virgo? Don't tell me he's a Virgo. I gotta see his other parts of his chart because he's a Virgo. Someone say he's probably a Cancer. That's what I was thinking, but yeah. But it gets really heated between them right here. Hold on, let me continue the video.
About wanting her in the room, yo. It's about the segment.
He's a
Like,
Virgo?
if it was like, y'all,
Have that
all right, yo,
conversation.
one of
Age
the-
rage.
If you had a problem, say it
I've
to us.
had
We had a
many
meeting
conversations
yesterday.
off air. What
Not
are we
like
talking
that.
about?
Not like nobody having my back, because we have your back. As far as the Corey Holcomb thing, y'all been beefing for 11
I'm
years.
not worried about, yo. It's not even about
You worried about comments, and you worried about what people say. F them
I'm worried
niggas
about
in
the
the comments,
perception
man.
and my reputation of being on the
They've
show.
been itching on me for 15 years. They've been itching on Charlamagne for 15
But
years.
that's on you. And the things that people itch on me for is on me.
I don't let it affect me because I know who I am as a person. I don't give a F what them people say in the comments.
Oh, come
I know
on.
who I am.
Come on.
I know what I do. You let them people get in the comments and F with you. You are great at what you do.
Everybody simmer down.
Like, you a dope.
She's very
If you
dope.
let them people piss you off, no, F them niggas. Like, you nice. Like, what you do is funny.
I tell her
Like,
that all the time,
You brought,
on air,
you
off
brought
air.
that energy that we needed to the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
And you let a bitch-ass person in the comments say something to stand you up. I tell them, F them niggas.
We don't even know.
F
We
all
don't even
of
know
them.
what
He kind of sound like a BA, but okay.
And we doing it on air when we could have did it behind the scenes. Like, I F with you the long way, not on some internet-ish. And to hear that through that, that's
This
whack,
sounds
man.
very light skinned. But let's go to the phones. 1-800-585-10.
I mean, I get where he's coming from because especially this doesn't help build their relationship as a team because you went to the internet before having a conversation one-on-one with them. I mean, I get it. I get it on some level, but she's also talking about how she's not feeling supported. Like she's saying that she has expressed herself to this group and she doesn't feel protected with them. Yes, this was live on air. This was live on air. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. We have already over 1,200 people in the building, but we only have 384 likes. Be sure to like the video. It's easy. It's free. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let's continue because he mentions Corey Holcomb. So I meant to play that first, but I'm going to play it now because this is what prompted Jess Hilarious' tirade on social media because she doesn't feel supported. Thank you. Of course, Janelle got the full chart. Janelle says DJ Envy is a Virgo sun, Taurus moon, and Mercury in Virgo. Don't know his rising. It's hard to determine someone's rising if you don't know their exact time of birth. So that might be it. He's got a lot of. I mean, he is a grounding force for these cast of interesting characters on The Breakfast Club. So I'm not surprised that he's got a lot of Virgo. But that emotion, I mean, that is kind of Virgo too, because you Virgos. All right, let me play what Corey said, the comedian Corey Holcomb said. Shout out to the Shade Room. So they write this in regards to the caption. They said, comedian and actor Corey Holcomb recently spoke about Jess Hilarious and her placement on The Breakfast Club. He started by saying that she got the job because I think she had a social media presence. He then proceeded to compare her to her radio co-host, Lauren LaRosa, who hopped in for Jess during her maternity leave. He stated she got the job and got knocked up shortly afterward. And the worst thing in the world happened. They brought in somebody who was talented. But apparently, Corey and Jess have had a beef for many years. A lot of these established comedians do not like the rise in social media comedians. A lot of them hate that. But that could be a lot of people that are well-established journalists that probably don't like the folks like myself on YouTube building a name, a larger name than some of these well-established journalists and media personalities. Let's take a listen to what the comedian Corey Holcomb said in regards to Jess.
I heard about her up at the Breakfast Club. Well, this is what happened at the Breakfast Club. She took that job. She got that job because I think she had a social media presence. I can't imagine why else.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
She got that job. And I always said she wasn't talented.
The same for a while.
She got the job and got knocked up shortly afterwards. And the worst thing in the world happened. They brought in somebody who was talented.
Who they bring in?
Homegirl from she used to be on TMZ.
Yeah, she has experience with doing that. When she talks, her voice. I don't know her name.
Yeah.
The girl who is Lauren. That girl know what she doing. She knows how to fit in with Charlamagne and the other guy, DJ Envy. It's like it's seamless when she there.
Right.
It's the talent. The talent shows out. And then Les Hilarious ain't even reading right. And now she had a job where all she had to do was deliver the news. She had a segment on The Breakfast Club. The other girl who has experience and talent at this job took her segment. Right. Not because she tried to, it's just you saw somebody who's talented. And then you see...
Why is he yelling? I'm not familiar with Corey Holcomb. But why is he yelling?
Read that, Les Hilarious.
And she stood in for her when she took off maternity leave.
When she stood in for... Les Hilarious, you should have had your baby on camera at the Breakfast Club.
Stupid.
Because they brought in somebody who is talented. And you can say I'm dissing, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to act like I'm hating. I'm not hating. You don't got the it. Your segment could have been good if you knew how to deliver it, right? But now they got somebody doing your segment better than you, and it's just flawless. It's effortless. And the girl tried to be your friend, and everybody could see you ain't trying to be her friend.
Apparently they've had a beef for 11 years. If you don't like this woman, why are you watching some of her stuff? And why don't you like her? Again, is it because she became a social media comedian? Now she's an actual comedian doing shows and tours and stuff. Like she's doing the craft. But okay.
Hey, hold up, be quiet. How everybody a real estate agent?
So in the video, you see Jess Hilarious tell Lauren, be quiet. We're going to get to that.
Because a lot of the wags do that. No, Rihanna for a long time. This is not no. Listen, hush. This is not a. No, Lauren. No. Just listen. Just please hush. This is not a Taylor Swift football game situation.
So I want to say to old girl Lauren, I hope that you get the job, and I hope Les Hilarious has to open up an OnlyFans with that bionic body that she bought through robbing the people, perpetrating talent.
I don't understand where their beef is from, but the fact that there's another woman sitting there and he's talking about a woman the way that he's talking about a woman, then there's that. So this is what prompted Jess, because he probably spoke about the insecurities and the feelings and the comments that people have been already saying, and I think it just bubbled over for her, and that's why she went off on social media. Am I surprised? No, because if you look at Jess Hilarious's history of going off on social media, I'm not a huge fan of Jess Hilarious. She said some very problematic things about a lot of different people. However, you got the job. I'm not surprised that the powers that be, the higher ups, the people that don't look like you and I'm not surprised that they saw something in Lauren and were like, no, we need to keep Lauren in there, because Lauren moves very similar to how Angela Yee moved and presented those hot topics and those news stories. And yes, it's not lost on me. Jess did also mention she doesn't know how Angela Yee did it for so many years working in this situation. Angela Yee, word on the street, she had some problems too, and that was part of the reason why she ended up leaving. But she survived for a long time. What was it, how many years? So I think for Lauren, because of Lauren's experience, that made her shine, and that's the thing. And especially in the world of entertainment, I remember Wendy Williams talking about this. This is why Wendy's like, I never missed a day. Not to say that Jess can't miss a day, but I'm just telling you the nature of this business. Wendy used to say, I would never miss a day. And when anyone else was out, I would volunteer to come in and fill that spot. Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Hold on. I'm not going to use that terminology. Corey is always throwing insults at women. Guys, in the future, if you're going to use a super chat, let's not violate the rules of the channel where we don't use derogatory comments about other people. No matter if they are disgusting, we don't need to go there. You could do that in your own life, but let's not use the channel to do so. So that's what Corey had to say, and that what prompted Jess Hilarious to go on social media yesterday and talk about what's been going on behind the scenes and how she's been feeling about her position on The Breakfast Club. In this clip, we showed, well, you heard there were multiple moments where Jess Hilarious would hush or tell Lauren to be quiet during different segments. Very unprofessional. However, again, it's not surprising based off of how we see Jess Hilarious conduct herself. Okay? So I want to play for you the interaction between Jess and Lauren. Okay?
Well,
You shut up. You shut up.
All I want to do is radio, okay? All Charlamagne want to do is laugh, and y'all yell at me for laughing. You don't take nothing serious.
They said it's all your fault.
I know. It's always my fault. I don't care. Okay, I think
Pause. Miriam says, Lauren saying that you're my talent is a soft read. It's a soft read in a way, if you want to read it that way, but she is a producer. So technically, and Jess Hilarious is not a producer. At least not to my knowledge. She's not a producer on this show. So that is her talent.
good and the bad with everything. It is what it is. It's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. DJ Envy, Charlamagne the God, Jess Hilarious, Lauren the Roast is here. We're having a conversation because Jess Hilarious went crazy on Instagram last night.
And I knew the live with
Also, Charlamagne saying that Jess Hilarious went crazy is, again, negating her feelings. We can say that as people that don't work with her, but as her coworker, as her senior, because I'm sure they are producers. I'm sure Charlamagne is considered a producer on here. Thank you, Trans Talk with Miss Chastity. he's senior. He's in a senior position. Again, I think he is probably a producer on the show at this particular point. They should be producers. Negating how she felt is wrong.
Upset. You know, you don't get upset, whatever. But I knew that it would upset Envy. I knew it would upset Lauren. That's why you closed the elevator this morning.
That was crazy. Now, why would you do that, Lauren?
I know.
Have you guys ever done that? You see someone coming that you don't like, and you're just like, close the elevator, close the elevator, close it. I live in a building now, and the elevators, it's a new building, so the elevators, still working on making it be efficient. Like, I'm not used to it. I'm used to walking out my door and get going. So waiting for the elevator is a situation. So I'm a little bit more mindful if I see someone that's coming to hold the elevator, because I know it's going to probably take them a hot second before they get to the next one. But have y'all ever done that before? And like if you're just going for a meeting in a building and just like, don't like that person, or it's your boss, and you're like,
I just I wanted to.
They pulled up at the same time.
At the same time when we called. And she was in front of me.
She saw Jess. She didn't know what Jess was on, so she rushed to the elevator. She hit the button. You remember when Q was on Juice and you thought Jess was behind him?
I hit the button one time, and this was why.
I heard the button though.
I said I felt like I didn't know what to say to you because I was.
Pause. I just want to read this comment because I don't listen to The Breakfast Club every day. I really don't. I listen to clips and things like that. Savannah says, I listen to The Breakfast Club every day. Just came in hot her first day back. She had a chip on her shoulder since she returned. It comes off like she's intimidated by Lauren. Lauren is professional. I definitely think that she's intimidated by Lauren. Because Lauren, but again, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes, because I think, of course, people in the comment section are saying that, but is the behavior from the higher-ups in the staff making her also feel that way?
So thrown off by parts of that live yesterday. I'm like, bro, we be talking at least enough. Like, we don't got to be friends outside of here. But I feel like I've always said to you off air, whenever things have happened, we've had conversations about a lot of different things. Let's talk. Call me. What's up? What's the issue? What's going on?
The issue is the whole narrative. Like, I understand after comments and after people and all that. But it's not all about them. It's how I'm feeling too. What if I'm feeling the same way the people feel? You know what I'm saying? So what? Because niggas online feel a certain way. I feel the same way they feel about it.
Call me and curse me out. Call in
I've
and
done
curse
that.
me out. Yes, you do.
Yes, I've done that. You know what I mean?
There's a bigger issue sometimes too, because I feel like, all right, you'll call him, you'll cuss him out. We might talk about different situations. But I think a lot of times, if there's an issue for real, and then it don't be no movement in here, it's like there's an issue outside and then there's no movement in here, and then we just all in here like hee ha. Like, you're doing a lot of it right now. You laughing and joking, but for real, you know that she's up here crying. Nothing about that is funny. Like, there's real issues.
She's talking about Charlamagne.
And we don't really get to the gist of it.
Ever.
I want the record to show I see Jess cry like. So.
It doesn't matter if you see her cry 1,000 times.
You know what? I'm not even talking to y'all. I'm not talking to y'all. See? Because when I try to be serious and talk, you see what I'm saying? You see how they do me?
What I'm saying is that I think at this moment, because this is East Side High, West Side, whatever high we gonna be, we here and we together, so we gotta figure this out. And it's not, everything's not a joke. And I can understand some of where you was coming from, but bro, part of that live I thought was crazy. I'm like, what, Jess? Like,
what part did you think was crazy?
What part? Because like, it's not like you didn't hear anything in that live that I haven't said to you.
I heard a lot that you didn't say to me.
Okay, so what part did I not?
Pause. I think this is a really good, a couple of things that I wanted to read here before we continue. Janelle says, as a longtime listener to The Breakfast Club, 10 plus years, I was always wondering how long this current setup would last with Jess. Hilarious. Even with or without Lauren, she seems like a solo host type of person. Another person says, Funky says, they use the N-word on air now. Times have changed. Yeah, I think it's for the YouTube. On radio, I don't know I don't think you can hear it on radio. There was another question. Oh, Nicole says, in the end, what does Jess want? That is such an important question, because I think by the end of this, I don't think we got to the bottom of that. What exactly does she want?
say to you.
Okay, so the part about the talking over each other and the hush, be quiet, because you talk about how you feel in real time, right?
Yeah.
I'm feeling in real time. That be quiet. That was crazy. The shut up, I was like, oh, okay, because what we really giving up here? Like, what's up?
Okay,
right?
But
I didn't.
None of that was said.
I
You didn't say anything about that.
And then when I pulled you into the office with our EP with Eddie, the first thing I said to you was, Jess, we fighting for airtime and it shouldn't be like that. I want to know what can I do better as a producer? What can we do better as the two women sitting right here next to each other to make sure that don't happen, because it doesn't look good. It's not gonna play well for either one of us.
I literally swear to God, I don't even remember you saying that.
And that's exactly why I had Eddie in the room or EP.
Pause. Lauren has been in a professional environment. She knows what she's doing. That's why she went into the office with a witness. And she's like, that's why I went into an office with a witness, because now Jess is saying that I don't remember us ever having that
I
conversation.
never ever heard that.
Because
you've pulled me to the side a few times to ask me, are you okay? How do you feel like about the stories and things like that? You've never said what you just said to me. Now listen, I have said, hush, shut up. You overtalk. And like I said, I'm not about to be up here fighting for no.
Again, you could tell history of who's worked in a professional environment. There is no way I would have ever, in a professional corporate America, even when I was working for a nonprofit, tell my colleague to hush, shut up. And mind you, you're doing this on air for millions of listeners. And she's defending it right now. She's defending saying this.
How do you feel like about the stories and things like that? You've never said what you just said to me. Now listen, I have said, hush, shut up. You overtalk. And like I said, I'm not about to be up here fighting for no mic. Like, I'm not doing it. If I already got the job, like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not. It's four voices. Three of us are very opinionated. You know what I mean? Me, you, and Charlamagne. I'm not saying Evie don't got no opinion, but he don't jump in every single time there's dead air. You know what I'm saying? When you overtalk. And it's like the only time you can quiet down is if somebody be like, shut up or hush.
My mom don't even tell me shut up, Jess. I'm a grown-ass woman.
Yeah, I understand. You could have said that on air right then and there. Or right after when you say you pulled me in the office. You never pulled me nowhere to tell me that.
Because the way that I do things when it comes to my job and my career, that's not what we on. And I told you from the jump, I was never going to give that to you. Ever.
Okay.
And did I not? Our first conversation, I said, if I ever have an issue with you, I'm going to handle it in a way where we can get through a conversation, because we grown, and regardless, you don't got to love me, you don't got to like me, but we here together. I'm here.
And listen, like I said earlier, the internet loves men.
Yes, you are here.
And one of the easiest ways to create mess is to pit women against each other.
And you're here because of an opportunity that I extended.
Regardless of
that's no. I'm not sitting here like you don't deserve to be here. I'm not sitting here like you're not here. You're not going anywhere. That's first and foremost, let's get that. It may be my delivery or whatever. But yeah, you are here. I ain't never say you shouldn't be here. I said from the whole jump, yeah, Shorty do the job, great, she's amazing. That's why I want it to be her segment.
I think y'all can work very well together. And once again, you got to stop letting the internet pick.
My thing is, though, again, I don't think it was a smart idea to take the segment, your one segment, because I don't listen to Breakfast Club. I don't know what else Jess has as a part of being a part of the show. But if you have a segment, you don't just give that segment up, because then what is the point of you being there? You don't. That's like you've gotten this promotion, and the one part of your job you're now saying, because you've gotten your feelings, oh, I'm gonna give it up. Wait! I saw this comment. Savannah says, "Kempire, you should have just applied. This would have never happened." It wouldn't have happened publicly. We don't know what happens behind the scenes. It definitely wouldn't have happened publicly, because y'all already know all kinds of stuff happen on these YouTube streets, and I don't get involved. So it wouldn't have happened publicly. Seven says, the Breakfast Club has always been an unprofessional platform. People wanting professionalism from Jess when they've never expected it from any of the other hosts is weird, but it's not Lauren's fault.
pit y'all against each
But
other.
I
I know
think
the
it's
internet has
beyond
created
But
a
if it's
narrative.
a way
Lauren
that
versus
I
Jess, Jess
feel
versus
is
Lauren.
no, then that's what it is.
It beyond it go, and that's what I'm trying to say is the internet is there. We see it. None of us can ignore it. I saw that Corey thing a week ago. It didn't say nothing
Yeah,
about
but
it.
y'all clear up everything else.
Right.
Nobody want to clear up that I'm not doing that. I don't like you, or I'm hating on a.
They say y'all gay. I ain't never came up here and said I don't suck no pee.
That's true,
That's different now. Come on.
The last time I attempted to do that, Jess, it went so bad that I said I wasn't gonna do it again.
Attempted to do what?
I don't dislike you. You don't dislike me. The day you came back. The day you came back, that's what
But
my
Lauren,
intentions was. And we talked
It's
about
Women's
that
History
was
Month.
that was
Women's History
different.
Month.
The way when I did
Got
come
clear
back,
up,
Lauren,
Tifa.
you have to admit that ish was crazy. The way we had a setup, we had something going, we had a whole nother plan. It went left. You came in here and it's like you did something totally different.
I feel
The first thing
like-
that you spoke to was the things in the comments.
I feel like
So
we're having a
what are we
behind the
talking
scenes
about?
meeting on air, which is kind of cool, but let's go to commercial or something and then come back.
Well, the whole
Go to
thing
the
is,
phone
we
for
need a
something.
resolution, bro. We'll take some phone
Yeah.
calls, but like I'm resolution based and not argument based. So let's
Boy,
resolve
shut up.
this.
You the number one beige rage person. You ain't never come up with a resolution, a solution
I will raise some
in your
beige,
life. Cut it
but-
out.
Well, I just want to
Women's
say,
History Month, I just wanna let you know.
Jess, what you feeling, we feel it together. And when the other thing happened that I called you about, I said that to you.
What was the other thing? Oh, you don't want to say
The academics thing. And I want you to know, I responded to it.
To me, it's just lead.
I responded to that on Twitter. I didn't send it to you. I didn't feel like I had to, but
Y'all
I
got
did.
to
But I
stay
called you
out
about it.
the comments. Stop listening to the comments.
Let me talk.
In real life, we love
Okay,
everybody. Y'all
let-
love each other.
let us-
This can work.
It will
Hush.
work. It will work. What I'm saying, no, because
You
this
see
is.
what I'm saying? Don't let it
I'm
go.
joking, though. I'm
Came
joking.
from them making it a topic, and now it's the
Yeah.
problem because we're talking about
Exactly.
it.
What I'm
So
saying is that this will work, but sometimes this might have to happen, and it's happening with love. Because when I saw Jess crying, I came in here because I care about you. Have to be okay for all of this to be okay. And I'm a producer at the end of the day. You my talent. We gonna be straight. Everything's gonna be fine.
Let's take some calls, and then we'll come right back. 800-585-1051. If you want to talk, you want to discuss. Of course, Lauren's here, Jess here, I'm here, Charlemagne's here. Let's have a conversation.
We're queer.
Okay, he can never be serious, can he? So that was the gist of their conversation. Someone in the comments asked the right question. So what exactly does Jess want after all of this? Because how can you move forward if you haven't clearly said, okay, this is what I need? And maybe she doesn't know. And maybe this will be it should be an ongoing conversation on what exactly do we want as a team? Because everyone, when Jess got the job, they're like, she's a perfect fit. She's a perfect fit. Maybe she's not good at certain things, and maybe that's why they brought in Lauren. And now Lauren has gone from behind the scenes to someone that people know and love. She could end up moving on to something else. She could end up replacing Jess. We don't know. But there's room for everyone because Lauren's going to have a different perspective. Jess Hilarious clearly is going to have a different perspective, and she's also a comedian, so she's also going to bring the funny. I think there's room for all of them. I definitely think there's room for all of them. Would I have this conversation in the public? Me personally, no, but it also forced them to have probably a conversation that Jess was not ready to have until she had it last night. Brian says that Claudia should have got the job. It makes me wonder what made them decide on this when they made these decisions in regards to it. But everyone felt like Jess was a perfect fit. Claudia, I definitely think Claudia probably gives more in the Lauren vein of being a little bit more polished. But yeah. Winter says, I like Claudia. She's an Aries, of course. You know what? Charlemagne pushed for Jess. Yeah, because he's friends with Jess, so I could see that. And he's the star. He's one of the stars of the show, so I could see that. The only thing that I probably wouldn't do, because it's such a professional environment, and it's hard in regards to that, because especially if you see someone with talent, but that is also a personal friend. And sometimes when you bring a personal friend into work, it can jeopardize the friendship. I know everyone said that Claudia was. I mean, I've seen Claudia do commentary. Remember, she was on Fox Soul, so clearly she can do it. And you saw what happened with Fox Soul and that debacle, and that all blew up. So a lot of people are comparing what happened with Fox Soul to this. However, when you look at the numbers, it doesn't compare. It doesn't compare. Like, this is a Radio Hall of Fame show with millions of viewers. I can't say the same on Fox Soul. Janelle says Jess really needs to drop the patriarchal mindset that she needs to be the only one in the room. You can't be for women and then be mad when you have to share. But you know what it is too, because we don't know behind the scenes how this was handled. I don't know if the management said, "Okay, Jess, I know you were gone, but we decided we're going to bring in Lauren, and Lauren's going to handle this." So I don't know, because I wouldn't be surprised that it wasn't discussed. Mia Moore says Claudia wasn't this demographic. Moonlight says they're all for self, including Jess. Okay, let's start Q&A, because I'm only going to do maybe like 10 minutes of Q&A, guys, because I have to go. But if you're part of the replay crew, be sure to like the video. Be sure to share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. This is our lunch hour conversation, Hot Topics lunch hour. So we covered a lot. So put a Q in front of your question, and we will answer some of your questions. You know what, V? V says, what if this was a scheme that Todd set up? Poor Todd. Todd needs to make T-shirts with that. Kenya says, it's confusing. Jess said that this was all of her idea and Love Lauren is there. I think she's more mad at social media's opinion and scared to admit it. I mean, clearly that's what Envy believes too. Which says, how do you think they'll proceed with Jess from an HR perspective? I'm thinking there should have been another conversation, like a meeting off air. And I wouldn't be surprised before they went on air that they agreed to discuss it on air. But there needs to be actual steps and actions in regards to how to proceed. And again, Jess has to figure out what exactly does she want. What would you do if you were Lauren? Keep doing my job and keep being great. Lauren, do not downgrade who you are, and I'm sure she won't, just because someone is bothered by you shining. What's for lunch, or did you eat already? I ate already. I ate leftovers. Wait, did I miss the question? Okay. Shajikra. There we go. Am I the only person who feels like we should know any of this? Angela and them worked together for years and we still know nothing. I think we all move differently. Again, if you know Jess and you've seen Jess over the years, I'm not surprised that she crashed out on social media. But I agree. But this leads us to having a conversation about professional environments. And also, I think people will learn and grow from this that are in the social media space and may end up getting an opportunity like this. Yankee says, I want to know when you're getting your own televised TV show, because you definitely have a watch it. Thank you, Yankee. I'm hoping soon. We'll just put it out there. Let's say sooner than later. Know the Queen, because remember, you know, you got to prove yourself. You know, some of these industry folks, you got to prove yourself. And thank God for YouTube. Know the Queen says, did you see the 7-part series on Hailey Bieber? Really interested in your take on it. Where is that? You can't dim your light to someone else to feel more insecure. To feel more secure. Agreed. Are you a Tinashe fan? I like Tinashe. Funky says, did you see that Kanye said about the Carter twins? We briefly talked about that in relation to the Johnathan Majors and people making excuses. Oh, he's a black man. He's a genius. He's a phenomenal actor. Kanye West will indefinitely be on timeout with me, please. Do you like The Breakfast Club? I don't watch it chapter and verse. I only watch certain interviews. Did you share your thoughts on Craig and Tamar? No, I didn't, because they ended up making peace really quickly afterwards. So I was like, okay, we can move on. We did talk about Tamar versus her sister. And was it yesterday? They was watching like Escape on Who's Getting the Lead. Thank you, Loretta. All right, I think I missed a couple of questions. When are you coming to Tampa? I know I just got here, but you should come, so you know what. Did you see Tubaba Pro? I did, Amina. I meant to do a video when it happened about his new girlfriend, Tubaba from Young, Famous, and African, and Annie. you know, I have so many stories. It's hard to keep up with everything, including international ones. The two moles on your left hand don't know what they mean. Which one? Well, this left hand? The two moles? Which one? I have a lot of moles. I hope to come back to LA as well. Okay. It's all over TikTok Kemp. How she stalked Justin and Selena for years to get with JB, Justin Bieber, and used the church to push him to marry her. Oh, I believe that. That sounds juicy. I'll have to get into it. I mean, that's been a saga, Selena, Justin, and Haley for a long time. Girl, you won. You got the baby. And the man. A Pisces man, but you got the man. Janita says, oh, what do you think of Jess's role on The Breakfast Club? I don't watch the show chapter and verse. I've only seen clips, but I wasn't surprised when this all came out because even the last interview with Wendy, I saw Jess and I was like, is that Jess hilarious? Just swiping through during this interview Instagram? I'm like, what's going on? I want to visit South Africa first and then everywhere else. Are you ready for tourist season? Dang, sorry, Aries. I'm ready for tourist season, but let's first wait for Aries. That's coming up this week. When we do another LA show, I live in Phoenix and we'll fly to see you. Stay tuned, Dej. We've been talking about it. We just got to figure out the venue. Didn't the Kardashians help Haley get Justin? Probably. Jess has definitely been more silent over the last couple of months. Yeah, she's probably been in her feelings, sitting there stewing and then reading the comments. Here go Winter. I like Jess, but she hardly contributes, especially in the interviews. If anything, this should have been an opportunity for her to step up. What role? Lauren basically took her role. It's just called Jess with the Mess. Why Lauren reporting on it? Give Lauren her own segment to report. I think this is a falling short on the side of management. Because I also don't know if Jess has expressed her concerns. Does Jess have I mean, I would hope she has a manager, because that should have been something that they addressed if she had concerns. Paris says, are you coming back to the DMV in the future? I missed out on the January show due to my B-Day plans. Yeah, I'm sure I will be. Probably this year. When's our next dating live? Maybe Friday. I have to see what my schedule's looking like. Let's hope let's hope I have a date and then there won't be one. I don't have one looming. I'm just saying, I'd like to keep my Fridays open. We are trying to come to Texas. We are trying. But Jess probably doesn't feel like they hired me as I am. Why do I got to get better? Which is not a great mentality. I'm always trying to figure out how I can make myself better, how to make this experience better. Savannah says Lauren shows up every day. Well, Lauren is also a producer. So Lauren's always going to be there. Yes, guys. Be sure to check out our discount for butter. This is my butter routine. You see my skin skinning right now? Butter. Maya says, you always have to develop and improve. But not a lot of people have that mentality, unfortunately. Cindy says, HR question, how do you deal with gossipy coworkers? Is that really an HR question? Unless the gossip is being detrimental and problematic within the office, I would take it to a manager first. And if you feel like it's the manager, then you should try and always before it gets to HR, you should try and have that conversation with everyone involved, maybe at your next team meeting. If not, and you've done that, then I would escalate it. Exactly, Crystal. It depends on what the gossip is about. We all love a good gossip. If they're gossiping about what I've been talking about, carry on. Carry on. Make sure everyone is subscribed. Maya says that if they gossip about them, they'll gossip about you too, without a doubt. If and when Wendy gets her freedom, do you think Charlotte would drop the Breakfast Club to work with her again? No. I don't think Wendy will be getting back into this space like that. Thank you, Ashley. Ashley's Kempire, I love you. You get me through my workday. Now I'm going to get ready for the Brooke Ashley's live. Tell Brooke I said, hey. Yes, guys, be sure to go to support Brooke as well. I think she's doing her Beverly Hills recap. And if you missed it, we did our recap earlier than usual today, so I could do this live today. I used to trigger HR words by saying I'm uncomfortable with this conversation. That's when you know people know what they're doing, because there are some HR trigger words. That's why certain things, when people say something, I'm like, oh, what are they trying to say? Thank you so much, Shadrika. Yeah, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to our mods. Mama Ali has kept the timestamps. I'll post the timestamps. I might go live tonight on TikTok and Instagram, so make sure you're following me there. But thank you so much for liking the video. If you haven't liked it already, it's easy and free way of supporting the channel. V says, did you see Fem Taro's reading on Wendy? She spoke highly of you as always. I was just voice noting with Fem Taro. We were gossiping about some stuff, but no, I didn't see it yet. I need to go watch it. So stay tuned. Also, we're talking about a collab, so stay tuned. Hey, Aziza. Hey, NYC. Oh, Chef Lorraine says that Funky said that Claudia's age was the cause. Well, that's unfortunate, because I feel like Claudia would be able to handle any of the conversation. And mind you, isn't Claudia in the same age group as everyone else on this team? Unless, again, the powers that be are trying to scale down in the age bracket. Sidebar, did you guys see that the demo for Real Housewives of Atlanta went down again, another series low in the demo? Remember when we first reported on the ratings going down and also the demo going down? I just saw TVD's reported that the demo fell again this week. That's important. The live numbers are not as important. The demo, the advertising demo, 18 to 49, is very important. That is not good. That is concerning. But we shall see. I'm not surprised, but yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Nene come back next season, to be honest with you. Exactly, they wanted someone to bring in the younger ratings. So that's what I'm thinking, why Jess, they included Jess. Because also Jess has a following on social media. All right. Thank you, Josephine. Did you see the Carney Paul 90-day latest news? Oh, Karini, she's pregnant by someone else, right? Or something like that. I can't keep up with 90 Day. I'm so behind on all my 90-day watching. I can't promise that I'll get back into it. You know, I've already started to get turned off by 90 Day. So, yeah, then there's that. Do you think Nene would have a sit down with Andy before she comes back? I think anything's possible. Would it be truly genuine? Would they ever be back to the real friends? Or not real friends, but friends like they were? No. Nene and Andy are okay with each other now? I don't think so. I think the network is okay with Nene. Yeah, DJ Envy and Charlamagne are in their 40s. But you know how the standard for women in entertainment is always higher. So Claudia would have to be 30 in order to fit in. But the men can be old and crotchety. I did see parts of the Nene Leakes show. Did she put out a new episode yet? Is she coming out with a new episode today? You know what I say about consistency. But we know what happened there. I agree. PSM says Andy always looks uncomfortable when they mention Nene. Always. Mind you, he used the Nene quote the other day, and I was like, you can't help it. She helped build your network and your brand. She's made you millions of dollars. Just own it. Embrace it. Dina says that Nene has bad advisors. Who are her advisors? The Nene and Sierra podcast apparently is over, and that's what prompted her to do the Nene Leakes show, which she should have done already. But she probably, again, I feel like she makes bad business decisions. but hopefully she will stick to this one. Again, no one has said, yes, she's coming out with a new episode this week. Is it once a month? I will say this, and I will go. Nene, in the first episode that she released, for me, was the perfect reason I was like, I don't think Nene's good at this, and why I think Quad is better, because Quad feels like a host. Nene didn't feel like a host in the Nene Leakes show. It felt like the people that were there were interviewing her as opposed to her show. That's just my opinion. And I'm gonna stand on it. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. I don't cover Married at First Sight anymore. It's just too much to cover. There's so many hours of television to cover. I just couldn't commit to that. Janelle, this will be the last question. Did you know that DJ Envy's wife, Gia, was almost on the cast of Real Housewives of New Jersey? They were neighbors with Teresa and Melissa when they lived in the original neighborhood. Gia didn't like it and bowed out. Yes, I did know that. And I feel like we've talked about that before. She's really friends with these people. And they were offered a show on Bravo, and then that never happened either. Gia and DJ Envy. Yeah. All right, y'all. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Again, I probably will go live this evening on Instagram. Make sure you're following me. And for my Butter skincare discount, that will be available in the description. The Club Kempire podcast subscription is now available, talking about the White Lotus. And I'm going to post the Kempire After Dark New York City live show there exclusively. There is a free 3-day trial. I think it expires tomorrow. So go grab it up today if you haven't checked it out so you can see what we're doing over there. I'm going to break down episode 5. We got a lot to talk about in episode 5, but I need to rewatch it again before we talk about it. All right, y'all. Have a good evening. See you guys later. Bye, y'all.